Okay, next in the moving up in the organization series, I want to address getting a promotion and the question of, do you ask for a promotion, or how do you put yourself or position yourself best to be in line for a promotion? Well, like a quotation I've stated several times throughout this video series, that luck is nothing but adequate preparation meeting opportunity. Well, with the definition of opportunity being that it is a position or situation that you have the ability to take advantage of. Okay, now the adequate preparation portion of that is sometimes it is only an opportunity, you are only able to take advantage of it because of your work, right? Because you are now qualified to take advantage of it. And the second aspect of it is oftentimes your work is what generated that opportunity to start with, your effort towards something. So with that in mind, reach out for any identifiable opportunity you have. Reach out to others to network and make connections to potentially create opportunities. In other lectures, we talked about selectively volunteering and demonstrating competency daily. Okay, that alone can create opportunities, right? But again, if you recognize potential, that there could be something there, reach out for it. That's what you volunteer for. That's where you dedicate yourself to, and that could be an opportunity for you. That's creating a role for yourself that you later could ask for. Now, for given roles in the organization, yes, ask for them. Plain and simple. You'll get some animosity from others about that opinion, but I'm distinctly of the opinion, if you see an opportunity for which you truly believe you are capable, competent, and qualified, reach out and ask for it. Do not wait for others to simply give it to you or to recognize your level of work. And when you ask for something, be able to justify it. Be able to tell your story and how you've worked towards that, what you will do in that position, and where you want to go beyond that. If you can justify your request, what you're asking for, based on largely your current and past performance, use numbers, quantify it, give them metrics, show them you understand what it takes to drive the value necessary in that position, and that's the best you can do. But those who sit back and wait are oftentimes not recognized early enough. Do not depend on others to assess your value. State your value and ask for it. But, like I said, be ready to justify the request.